We all know an Uncle Joe. He smokes a pack of cigarettes a day, eats bacon and eggs for breakfast every morning, never exercises, and yet lives into his late 90s with a perfectly healthy heart. We use his survival as evidence that diet and exercise warnings are exaggerated, telling ourselves that if he can beat the odds, we can too. But science is uncovering a different reality. Uncle Joe survived because he was likely walking around with a biological suit of armor, rare genetic mutations that actively neutralize the damage his lifestyle caused. For over 95% of us, our bodies are built on the standard model. This is an evolutionary blueprint designed for a world where we walked 10 miles a day, ate lean wild game, and faced frequent periods of starvation. The standard model is efficient at storing fat and reacting aggressively to injury. In a modern world of desk jobs and processed sugar, this ancient blueprint creates a severe biological mismatch that often leads to systemic failure. Under the standard model, excess cholesterol seeps into the artery walls. The immune system panics, launching an inflammatory attack. This swells the tissue outward into a dangerous obstructive plaque, which the body covers with a thin, brittle cap, prone to bursting at any moment. The standard model's own outdated defense mechanisms create the ticking time bombs responsible for most modern heart disease. Genetic anomalies found in people like Uncle Joe act as specialized mechanical upgrades that neutralize these specific failure points. On the right, the SCARB1 Gatekeeper mutation acts as a physical barrier against cholesterol. The IL-6 Fire Extinguisher stops the swelling inflammatory attack. Finally, the MIA3 wall builder forces cells to cover any plaque with a thick, impenetrable scar, turning it into a stable deposit. Finally, the architect, an incredibly rare mutation near the PBX1 gene, maintains the overall structural elasticity and youthfulness of blood vessels well into extreme old age. Having just one of these shields is lucky. Possessing all four simultaneously is nearly impossible. The survival of these anomalies represents a blind lottery win of perfectly combined biological upgrades that the vast majority of us simply do not possess. You can identify which blueprint you possess without an expensive whole genome sequencing test. Genetics are strictly hereditary. Your parents and grandparents serve as the most accurate available mirror to your own DNA. This family tree shows the critical signals. If your father had an early heart attack, your grandmother suffered a stroke, or your siblings struggle with high cholesterol, your DNA is speaking to you. A family history of heart disease is definitive proof that your genetic lineage possesses the vulnerable standard model and is defenseless against the modern environment. Realizing you didn't win the genetic lottery ends the gamble. You stop relying on luck and start taking control of your own biology. You can use lifestyle choices to manually install the genetic upgrades you lack. If you weren't born with the fire extinguisher, rigorous exercise will naturally lower your systemic inflammation. Avoiding processed fats mimics the gatekeeper, and actively managing stress and blood pressure manually stabilizes your plaque to mimic the wall builder. Discard the dangerous myth of the resilient human. Respect your inherent biological vulnerability.